Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Opinion Machine, the show where we talk about all things gaming. My name is Killjoy, and today let's talk a bit about Xbox Game Pass. I haven't really spoke about it a huge amount. I've mentioned it, I think, in possibly a few different videos, but I want to kind of talk about like why I think it is. I mean, it's obviously good value, right? If you don't know what Game Pass is, you've been living under a rock. Xbox Game Pass is a subscription service that is surprisingly cheap, I think, for what it is, and you get a ton of games on your platform of choice, basically. And it's something that I actually used. I had it earlier this year. I actually got it, the PC version, to play Outriders. Turns out it didn't come to Outriders, and that was badly advertised, but I did get a chance to play Desperados 3, a game that I've been wanting to play for a while. And what's cool about Game Pass, and the reason why I think it is significantly great value, is the fact that if you get it for just PC, or you get I think the Ultimate version as well, you get your first month in this country for £1, right? So you get an entire month to play as many of these games as you want for £1. Now I believe with Ultimate, in fact I can check right now, I believe with Ultimate you get your first 3 months for £1. 3 months for £1. It's actually insane, because they are adding games to this platform all the time. Now the Ultimate version of it gives you access to the PC stuff, it gives you access to the console stuff, and Android, and you also get access to the EA Play stuff that's included, and Xbox Live and all that. I had the PC version of it, I believe, so it would normally be £7.99, so £8 a month, which is really cheap, but I only had it for a month for £1. And that's insane value, right? Insane value for what you're getting, and the fact that you basically get a trial month on top of it is crazy. But yeah, Xbox Game Pass to me is something that Xbox has clearly been working towards for a long time. They've got themselves in a place now where they have an extremely enticing package for their consoles, or their PC, or even there's Android there. Why is this such an important thing for Microsoft? Well, because Microsoft, haven't released a single first-party game on their brand new systems on the Xbox Series, and you think, I mean, that's crazy. I think we live in a time where consoles can't come out and they haven't released a brand new game. So they doubled down what these things have been making, and they went ham on Game Pass. And you look at the games that are on there. There are some insanely high quality ones. Now I had it for PC, but like just bringing up what's in front of me, you've got like Just Cause 4, you've got Dragon Quest Builders 2, you've got Final Fantasy X and X-2, Psychonauts, Remnant from the Ashes, the Age of Empires games, Alien Isolation, Among Us, Destroy All Humans. Like, this is just an example of things that are on here, right? There are a ton. I got it for Desperados 3, I believe. What's the other game? Wasteland 3 was on there. There's a huge games, all for a very enticing and cheap price. And the reason why it works so well is when you have a subscription service that's under £10, or in this case with Ultimate £10, people probably don't see that as a lot of money. And now, when brand new games come out, and they come out on this system, rather than on this subscription service, rather than paying £30, £40, £50, they see it as free. They go, oh, I just install the game, I've got it for free. And you haven't got it for free, obviously, because you're still paying a monthly service. But you're not having to then, on top of that, spend more money. I guess you kind of look at it as like the Netflix of gaming, you could call it, like, that idea that you just pay this subscription and you get access to all this content. And like, we are seeing that, Sony have their PlayStation Plus and PlayStation Now, or whatever it is, like they are at it. They have a good setup in place. You get free games as long as you subscribe. You get free games and decent games. Part of that. And Nintendo is different. They go for more of the nostalgia route. So it's completely up to you what you think of the value of that. But with Game Pass, the fact that you have access to all these games, and obviously Microsoft owning Bethesda, you've got access to a ton of the Bethesda games now. In fact, you know, let's have a look. You know, you've got all the Dooms, you've got Skyrim, you've got Dishonored, Wolfenstein, Prey, Rage, like a ton of games, right? That's huge, and they're all on there now. You've also got access to EA Play, like Anthem, Battlefield, Burnout, Command & Conquer. You know, this is just the PC stuff, but like Crysis, all these things, Dead Space, Dragon Age, Dungeon Keeper. Like, to me, like, I'm sure that this cost Microsoft a lot of money, but not that they need, you know, worry about it. They're a big corporation. But to get something like this working to the degree where people, like, everybody's praising this service. They're getting games that are coming out day one. Outriders was there day one. I can't remember what else has been announced for it, but there are games coming to it day one. You know, and it's crazy. You know, when you get a release like that, I mean, they obviously have to pay a lot of money for it, but you're giving people brand new games day one. Like, everything Microsoft's going to release is going to have a physical version probably, and be part of this subscription service day one when they release. Halo Infinite comes out. You give that away for free on, or say, give it as part of the Game Pass. That's crazy. That's a lot of people that are going to have access to that. And like, say what you want about Microsoft, say what you want about their like consoles or whatever. Like, this service is absolute killer. Like, this service is so good in terms of value, you know. And I think if you dispute that, then I think you're either blinded by your fandom or just very wrong. The fact that you have access to a bunch of this many games, and obviously they're adding to the service, there's indie games on here, brand new like games from companies, like it's bonkers. Like, it's so, like, for me, if I was growing up back when I was a kid and this was available, this is the sort of thing that I would consider subscribing to, just because, like, when you don't have a lot of money, this would be perfect. Rather than spending 40 quid on a game every time it comes out, if they're all on this service, you think, oh, that's alright, it's 120 quid a year, like, you know, roughly. And you see that as like the cost of the service is spread out so thinly over the months that you don't notice it. You know, and I just think it's one of those things where, like, I know a lot of people praise Game Pass and Game Pass Ultimate, but I think it's also like important to notice that, like, this is Microsoft's ace in the hole. Like, this is this subscription service is, like, right now nothing beats this in terms, in terms of value. Yeah, there is value to be had on the Switch. There is value to be had on the PlayStation. You know, and there are other services out there as well. But this is a very competitive service, and I think it's going to take a little while before we start to see the other console companies really knocking on that door, even if they, you know, whether they want to. I mean, Sony would be the ones that probably look into it more. Nintendo, like I said, are kind of looking at that retro style. They're going, here's a bunch of NES, SNES, you know, what other classic games do they want? You know, Nintendo's library and characters and games and things like that are often considered, you know, hugely popular and have rich history. You do get it with Sony. You don't get it so much with Microsoft. Maybe Halo, maybe Gears of War. But Xbox is more about, hey, here's these brand new products on day one, part of your subscription service, right? You don't have to pay any extra for it. They're looking at like big visuals. They're looking at like, here's the newest thing in Forza, here's the newest Gears of War, here's the newest Halo, you know. And it's just such an interesting thing that they've got going here. I never expected this to blow up as much as it has. I mean, they've kept the price is super competitive. If I was going to subscribe to any service, this would be the one. Like, why wouldn't you subscribe to this? It's like, it's just such good value. And like I said, however you feel about Microsoft, even if you're just a PC player, if you're subscribed to this, just the PC stuff for like 8 quid a month, you get access to a ton of things for free. And I think, like, it's hard to dispute how good this service is. Now, I know that obviously in time things could get better, things could get worse. It's hard to say, like, but looking at what we have now, you got to give Microsoft credit where credit's due. And like, really, when their first party games start coming out, you know, you can start judging their quality and all that, and whatever. But when you have a service that's essentially ticking over your console and your console sales and PC sales because you don't have any first party products to put out yet, it's actually quite impressive how well it's done without that. Obviously you get the enhanced versions of a lot of games for these newer systems. You've also got the whole backwards compatibility thing that Microsoft are massively hammering home. They're like, hey, you want to play these old games in 60 frames, you want to play these old games in 120 frames in HD? Can't really blame them, can you? Like, people love that stuff. Might not be a big, a big portion of people buy these consoles for the new products, but you can't knock people for wanting those old games easy to access and also play like they're, very heavily updated. And I think that's great. I think what Microsoft's doing is great. Whether you like the consoles or not, you can't knock this service. The service that they're offering right now is kind of untouchable, honestly, and I think people need to be aware of that. Like, again, maybe there's games that don't interest you, but I'm pretty sure you'll find something, whether that be indie or first party, or even third party. You're definitely going to find something on here. And if you sign up for, like Ultimate for 3 months for £1, and you don't want to use it after that, fair enough. You just got 3 months for £1 to play a ton of games that would have cost you anywhere between 10 to 50 quid. So, yeah, it's a service, and I think people should, I'm sure people already respect it, but like, just be aware that this going forward, that Game Pass is going to be huge. It already is huge, but I think it is going to be bigger and going towards more digital sales and things like that. This thing is going to blow up to crazy value eventually, and especially when we start seeing newer Bethesda games, when we start seeing newer Microsoft first parties specifically built for the Series X and S. It's going to be crazy. So, keep an eye on this if you want to play some big games for a low price, because this is the place to do it, whether that's on PC or whether that is on the Xbox consoles. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this video. As always, that's going to do it for me today. If you liked the video, hit the like button. If you want to see more content like this, subscribe. Obviously, feel free to comment down below, like, give me your thoughts if you've got any experience with Game Pass, if you think it's good, if you think it's bad, what you think they can improve. Links for Facebook and Twitter will be down below in the description as always. And until next video, I will see you then.